Hi. Today's topic is what is the right way to start the kettlebell training? And this question is quite oftenly asked in my seminars and my workshops across India, wherever I travel. Also, nowadays in online training, is what is the appropriate way to start the kettlebell training? And it's quite important question because a novice lifter really don't know from which weight we have to start. Now the question arises because we've been exposed to strength training, weight training exercise, and we start typically with 1 kg, 2 kg dumbbell to start with upper body exercise, and the lower body exercise typically we start with the body weight, and then we get onto the barbell. But when it comes to kettlebells, depending upon your goal, your purpose, whether do you want to really jump onto the kettlebell sport, whether first you want to work on your basic GPP programs, whether do you want to use kettlebells as a sports conditioning tool, whether you just want to use kettlebells to just fix up your problems, like for example if you have any shoulder issues, lower back issues, and if your sports physiotherapist have asked you to use kettlebells to fix up the problems, all the goals are different. First we need to understand what is the goal. In general, I would suggest that for men and for women, the kettlebells, the starting weight is different. Now again, when it comes to the generic answer, I would say the 16 kg is the right weight to start for men, and 8 or 12 kgs is the right weight to start for women. However, if you have a background, if you do not have a background of fitness, and if you are really finding a challenge to get starting with 16 kg, then 16 kg is not the right weight for you. I can define this because typically in India what we see is when we encounter the problems as far as fitness is concerned, we get on to fitness exercises, activities, whether it is going to the gym, whether it's starting walking or any other exercise. So by the time you start any kind of exercise, it's typically 30 or 35 age. Nowadays the trend is changing. However, most of the people who are getting exposed to the exercise, that is the gym, are particularly in a group of 30 to 35 with problems. Obesity, one of the biggest problem in India. Diabetes is the capital in the world. So if you check out these constraints, you will see that if you start with 16 kg, then it is going to be a little difficult. So depending upon your coach to whom you hire is also very important. So I would strictly say if you are starting off with the basic programs like doing an isolation plain static movement exercises with kettlebells, like pressing movements, like doing good mornings, like doing sumo squat, maybe if you want to add on some 2-arm presses, maybe you want to do some holds, I would suggest you to start with 12 kgs based on my experience of teaching kettlebells for 8-9 years typically. So I would say 12 kg is the right way to start. Women can start with either 6 or 8, again depending upon the fitness. So there has to be a fitness test, and it's a key. Now I won't be able to cover everything in this short video, but before you start off the kettlebell training, I would strictly suggest to take up the basic fitness test. For example, push-ups, or maybe plank, maybe hand plank, maybe elbow plank, maybe some stretch test, maybe some allowing client to sit down on a floor and trying to reach the toes. All these are like basic fitness tests to be taken for the client, so that they should be able to understand that when they are starting off with any dynamic movement, kettlebells is dynamic, it's a multi-joint movement. They have to start with the right weight, and they can progress to 16 kgs or 20 kgs faster. Even though you are getting exposed to sport, still it is going to be a little challenging because many people want to jump on the sport and achieve good results, but over a horizon the results come down. So you need to understand that you need to fix up your basic fitness, and it takes months and years of practice before you get on to a very good number. Otherwise you start getting negatives about a tool, whether it is a dumbbell or a kettlebell. So it has to be very systematic. That's the most important part, and that is what the correct coach would explain you. The right coach would explain you how to start the basic programs. Like for example, starting with mobility programs and getting on to basic fitness tests with push-ups, or maybe doing squats, like fixing up doing 100 squats non-stop, maybe push-up, maybe 20 push-up, maybe knee push-up. All these are basically to just understand for a coach that this guy or a girl is basically heading the right way, because a coach gives 1 hour to the client and rest 23 hours. The coach is really not aware what's going on, whether he or she is sleeping for full 8 hours, having a good nutrition, and that's sometimes become a big question mark. So the slow progress is the best progress as far as my experience is concerned. So if you check out exercise done with the barbells, if you check out exercises done with the dumbbell, if you'll see typically the upper body we start with 2 kilos, maybe 3 kilos, maybe 5 kilos. Like for example, if you're doing a bench press or a shoulder press, because of the muscle group is smaller, than the weight makes sense. We don't start with 10 kg, we don't start with 15 kg, or we don't start with the barbell for your upper body exercise. Typically, also with the lower body, we start off with the body weight, and then we start with the first weight we encounter is the weight of the barbell. The weight of the barbell is 20 kg, that's 45 pounds men, and 15 kgs for women. So you can see the difference. It's the lower body is, we are starting with heavier weight. The lighter, the upper body, we are typically around 5 kgs to 10 kgs, that zone. So why? Because we carry more muscle mass in lower body. So it makes sense to start with 15 kgs and 20 kg. When it comes to kettlebells, well, 80% of the exercise, 90%, most of the exercise, I would say in that way, are lower body dominant. So when they are lower body dominant, that means we are using, when we are doing any kind of movement, say for example, you're doing swing, we are doing maybe press, maybe push press, not press, but typically push press, lower body jerk, or lower body dominant exercise. So the weight has to be sizable. The weight has to be correct in order for you to save time, in order for you to basically take the training correctly. So the starting weight would be typically 12 or 16 kg for men, and it would be 8 or 12 kg or 6 or 8 kgs for women. Anything lower, like many people I see, they have 4 kg kettlebell, they have 6 kg kettlebell, and they expect miracle to happen. It will never happen. That means you are missing something. You are either missing a good coach, missing a good training, or there is something wrong, because you don't follow any YouTube channels, because every exercise done is based upon goal. What's your goal? So once the goal is defined, then you have the correct pathway, and when you do it correctly, then you are heading it correctly. Otherwise, you'll just keep on lifting 6 kgs, 8 kgs for a few months, and then eventually end up having negatives about a tool. So have a good coach, most important part, and the right way to start off with the right exercise with the kettlebells. I hope that short video has helped you to understand that how to pick up the right bell, how important the coach is, and the most important is like be serious, take serious training, even if it is a barbell, even if it is a kettlebells. Write down the logs, have your programs written, monitor it so that you can head correctly. Thank you for watching this video. I wish you good luck.